Here we are. We are live. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Traveling with Bruce. This is Bruce here from Creston, British Columbia, and I hope you're having a good day today. I'm having a great day today. I've had a busy day today. I've even forgot to mute my own button so that I don't have to hear myself. But you know, we take care of these little glitches on the air as we go. What a day today. I'm so excited. I've got my special guest all lined up. I can't wait to get him on the air with you guys. I've been busy today with a couple of videos. If you've been watching this channel today, you're following me and getting those notifications. If you have subscribed, where there's a button there and a button there, and if you hit that little bell notification icon, which is somewhere over here or over here, you've been getting alerts from YouTube today that I uploaded 2 videos this morning, and the live show was being alerted to you today as well. So that's why you want to be a subscriber and hit the bell notification icon so you're on top of what's going on. The 2 videos I uploaded today, #1 story, the Oasis of the Seas. This story just keeps evolving. The ship is in dry dock right now in Cadiz, Spain. They are repairing her from all the damage from that Freeport crane debacle that they had. The good news is, and it is a good news story, Royal Caribbean issued alerts to their travelers who are booked for that ship on May the 5th, May the 12th. Your cruise is on. They're not going to cancel any more cruises. They're on time. They're going to be able to repair what they need to repair in dry dock in Cadiz, Spain, and then shift over to Barcelona and pick passengers up on the 5th of May for the beginning of the summer Mediterranean season. So this is good news, folks. We've been all wondering, oh, God, they killed 3 cruises. Are they going to kill 4 or 5 more? We didn't know. Now we know it's not going to happen. They're going ahead. And this is big news because obviously we're talking between 5,000 and 6,000 passengers a week that are supposed to be on that ship, even as we speak, obviously. So going forward, they don't have to cancel 3, 4, 5 more cruises. Whew, there's 15, 20, 30,000 people that are going, woohoo, our holiday is on. So good news there. And that's the first video. The second video, it's a bit of a sad story. It's an update. I promised you that I would update you on various stories that are happening out there. And this one here, I have made now, I think, 3 videos at least. And I've talked about this story on the live shows a number of times. It's all about the woman from Wisconsin that was on the Celebrity Silhouette cruise ship. She landed in Miami International Airport on Delta to catch her ship out of Fort Lauderdale. One of her bags was not there. She put in a claim for a missing bag. The airline took it upon themselves to forward the bag to the Cayman Islands, where she was going to be 2 days later on the Celebrity Silhouette cruise she was on. She got a text, I guess, on her phone. She went to the airport, claimed her bag. As soon as she said, yep, that's my bag right there, boom, the cops arrested her. And she was charged with illegal possession of a handgun in the Cayman Islands, a serious offense in the Cayman Islands. It may not be a serious offense in Florida or Wisconsin or other states that you come from if you're from the USA. In Canada, it's a serious offense. In the Cayman Islands, it's a real serious offense. You can land in jail for 10 years for illegal gun possession. They don't like guns on that island. It's a British protectorate. And you know how few guns there are in Britain, generally speaking, as far as crime goes. It's pretty impossible to get a permit to carry a weapon. And in the Caymans, it's next to impossible. Anyway, she had to go through the whole ordeal of bail, and she put up 30,000 American dollars eventually to be able to go back home. She missed the rest of her cruise. She awaited her trial. Her trial was held last week. She did not return to the island for the trial, which meant she gave up 30 grand of her bail money. It's in the system. The Caymans get to keep that. And the jury, they went ahead with the trial without her. The jury could not convict her. They were looking for a unanimous verdict. They couldn't reach one. The judge sent them back to see if they could come back with a partial verdict. There were 7 people in the jury. They were looking for a 5-4-3 count. They couldn't, 5-2 count. They had to have a 5-2 count, and they couldn't come up with a 5-2 count. They obviously had a 4-3 or something, and the jury was excused. The story then went, and this is the last I heard, that there was going to possibly be a retrial. Today, I got the news, shockingly, The woman from Wisconsin, 67 years old. It turns out she's 68. I don't know if she just had a birthday or not, but she's 68. She passed away the day after the hung jury verdict came out. And the Caymans had gone ahead in the last couple of days. The prosecution's office came back to the court to reapply and reinstate these charges. They wanted to retry her. They were not aware she had passed away. And the court agreed that this September, they were going to have a retrial of this case. So had she lived, she would have had to go through this ordeal again, although from the USA, obviously, because she's not returning to the island, but she passed away. We don't know what she died from, what the cause was. Was it an accident or what? It's a sad ending to a sad story, and it's possible that the stress of this entire episode could have led quite a ways to her ultimate passing. It's very disappointing. It's very sad, but it goes to show you, folks, when you leave your home country, whether you're Canadian like me, or whether you're an American, or you're from the United Kingdom, or from Australia, or wherever you're from, you travel to another country, you have to adhere. You have to know you're adhering to the laws of the country you're visiting, and you have to be aware of what the risks are, especially if you're a weapon permitted carrying American. Don't think that just because you're allowed to carry a gun in the state that you live, that you can go travel anywhere you want with this certificate from your state government. It is worthless. It is absolutely meaningless, and it might even get you into trouble in other states, let alone other countries. And sorry to say, this woman went through a terrible ordeal, all kinds of issues, when she got charged with illegal gun possession. I had a feeling that at the end, had she been convicted, I really don't think the judge would have put her in jail, because the extenuating circumstances were that she didn't want the weapon to be sent to her to the Caymans. She wanted the weapon, the bag, to be left in Miami with a friend. The airline took it upon themselves to do it, she claims. And the judge may have bought part of that argument, perhaps. Even with a guilty verdict, he may have just fined her. But at the end of the day, I have a strong suspicion that she would have been out the 30 grand either way, because I think she would have been fined 25,000 Cayman dollars, which is 30,000 US dollars, or something like that would have come down. Anyway, it's a sad story. She passed away. I just found out today, and it's too bad. And the case will obviously be dropped now. And like I say, though, it's a warning for everyone out there: when you travel, be wary of the laws of the land that you're going to. All right, there you are. That's those are my two main pieces of news today that have come across the board. The third one is Martha Stewart. I'll just quickly mention it. MSC and Martha Stewart are teaming up to offer a enhanced cruising experience. Apparently, there are some short excursions being put together through some of the Caribbean ports where Martha Stewart has picked out certain places to go and things to experience and things to do. And you're going to be able to get a bit of a Martha S. Stewart experience at sea through MSC. Well, Call America's got Oprah. MSC has got Martha Stewart. I'm available. I know Dan the Man's available. We're available for an enhanced experience. Just give us a call, and we're more than happy to work something out. Speaking of Dan the Man, I am pleased to say that he has joined us live from his home. I believe he's just outside of Washington, D.C. He'll tell us where he is. And I am really happy to welcome him to the show. Dan the Man, can you hear me today?
I can, Bruce. How are you?
Pretty good, buddy. Welcome to my channel and show. I'm so glad you're here. I know, just for you folks who are out there, I got an email from Dan himself. He reached out to me a couple of weeks ago. He said, Bruce, I've been watching your channel. Love what you're doing. This is what I'm doing. Check out my channel. We should do something together. And the next thing you know, we started talking. And we find that we can kill hours talking to each other. I thought, why do that privately? Why might as well talk publicly right on the air and let you folks in on what's going on. Dan, where are you living these days?
I am just outside of Washington, D.C. in an area of Northern Virginia, probably 15, 20 miles outside of the District of Columbia. I've lived here for about 35 years, and I just love the area, but I will be making a change soon as my retirement now is done and over. I have lots of time to take cruises and play slots and do all these fun things that we're going to talk about. And so that's exciting to share.
Right on, buddy. When did you start your YouTube channel, and what made you want to do that? I mean, you're filming yourself playing slot machines on land. You've also now been able to convince Norwegian to let you do it at sea. How did all that begin?
Actually, I started watching just like everyone else does, something that interests you. You can usually find information or learn something about it on YouTube, and that's really how it started. I've been going to traveling and going to casinos for many years, and started watching slot videos on YouTube, and started watching one particular slot channel, the Big Jackpot, who is a person that I find, that helps me a lot with my channel as well. And so yeah, I'm watching him do it and having a fantastic fun time. I'm like, well, why don't I do this? I mean, I go to casinos, I have a good time. People like to, engage in things like that are fun. So that's how it started. And I actually started it with a friend of mine, and we did it together for about 9 to 10 months. And some things changed. His family situation changed, and so I took it on myself. And now I'm Dan the Man, doing it as a one-man band, and having lots of fun with it.
Right on, buddy. Right on. So the channel is called Dan the Man Slots. How many subscribers have you got now?
Just under 15,000. So 14,000 and change, going up. Like your channel is going up like really well. We're all out here trying to get discovered and get people to come watch our content. And so I'm actually very happy with the growth at this point, because I haven't been doing it full time. I've been doing it sort of part time, and now that I have time to do it full time, I'm expecting more great things from it.
Right on, man. Right on. Good stuff. And of course, you've had to figure out the technical logistics of it all, like we all do on YouTube. Obviously, how to record yourself and the right equipment and that type of thing. I'm imagining, have you got viewers? I have them around the world. Have you got viewers from around the world watching your channel rather than just Americans only?
Oh, actually, I have probably about 28% of my total view count comes from outside the United States. I actually get quite many views from Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines, the UK. I mean, you can, very fortunately, YouTube is very granular with their matrices, so you can actually see, who's watching from where, and it kind of surprises you sometimes. You're like, Uruguay, and who's watching me from Peru, but this is what brings this world together. I mean, it's something very simple. With an internet connection, you can essentially share anything and everything with everybody, and so it's really amazing.
It's incredible, man. It's just incredible. All right, now tell my viewers. You were telling me a couple of days ago this story. I just thought this was fascinating. You were trying to convince casinos to allow you to live stream in front of a slot machine, and you would approach some casinos, and you'd have mixed results. But there was one in particular, I think you told me about one place. You'll have to remind me which one it was, where you went to them and they gave you all kinds of restrictions, but you did it, and then they wanted you to do it again and again. Tell me that story again.
Yeah, so here in the Washington D.C. area, there are probably a handful of casinos. You have Maryland Live, you have MGM National Harbor, you have Baltimore Horseshoe Casino. Then a little further out, you have Perryville, Hollywood, and of course Charlestown, West Virginia. There's another casino, and all of these are within practically an hour's drive. Okay, so that's convenient for me, right? I can get my car after work and drive, and then do my YouTube, and then come back. Well, none of them allow filming. Not like no chance, not happening. And you keep trying at it a little bit. Well, there was another casino just a bit further away, up in Pennsylvania. It was the Meadows. As people are familiar with the Meadowlands and Meadows, so this was one of the casinos that when I first reached out to them, they were like, no, no, no pictures, no filming, no nothing. And I was very persistent about, look at my channel. You can see what we do. We're not filming where we're not supposed to be filming. We're not filming other customers. We're not filming security. We're not filming the cage, all those sensitive areas. Essentially, when you look at the channel, it's just the square display of the slot machine, which really is, that's it. That's all you have. And it took about 6 months to kind of get their attention even a little further. And so finally, through a lot of persistence, I was able to convince them to try it one time. Just let me come. We'll meet on site. You can observe what I'm doing, and I can show you the benefits to you as a property. Because I'm going to be live to a live audience. I'm going to talk about your property. We're going to talk about slot machines. We're going to get people interested in coming and visit and talking about what restaurants here or what the special is, and so on and so forth. And so I went there for the first time under a lot of restrictions. I had 2 security personnel with me, a representative from the players, whatever their vice president of player development, and they watched the live stream. Of course, not saying a word the entire time, but they're watching it not just physically; they're watching it on their phone. So they're reading everyone's interactions with me playing the slots, and of course I'm giving them great shout outs because it's a great property up there in Pennsylvania. It's really nice. And then after the live stream, it was a little bit of a okay, yeah, that was okay. They really didn't come around real quick at first, kind of thing. And
right.
And then not too long after that, a couple weeks later, I get an email and a phone call, just like you said. Hey, maybe you'd like to come back up here and do that again for so it kind of broke the ice a little bit. And now, fortunately, there are other YouTubers that are able to go there and film and do what we do as YouTube creators, of course, following their rules all the time. And that's one thing that I try to impress upon people in my this niche market that we have here on YouTube with slots, is that never film somewhere you don't have permission. And really, because at the end of the day, I'm just a guest there. And there are some myths out there it's against the law to film, or it's against the law. Actually, it is not against the law. There are no code sections in either the New Jersey Gaming Commission or the Nevada Gaming Commission or even Pennsylvania that explicitly restricts filming of any kind. It's a property specific policy, and you can have them agree to it and agree to it in writing, and you have a working relationship with them, and you follow the rules. Of course, this creates a healthy relationship with you and the property, and they benefit from having their brand exposed to audiences that would not normally know they even existed. And then us as YouTube creators are able to come and create our content and share it with our viewers.
Right on, man. It's a win-win, I think, no question. And they saw the light quickly, obviously, because they realized this is free promotion. We got a guy sitting here, and it's not like you're sitting there winning money guaranteed. You don't know if you're going to win any money in front of a slot machine. You might lose a couple $100, $1,000, who knows? It's just the way it goes. If you win, you win. You don't, you don't. But the promotion is priceless.
Yeah, it actually works really well, and now it's even when I'm there on property, I actually give them an email notice about 7 days prior to showing up, and that way they're able to communicate with their security staff. Hey, Dan and Man's going to be coming this date at this time, and then I'll check in at the security desk, and they'll the staff there at the security desk will do their job, and they'll make the phone call and go, okay, yes, you're everything's good to go, and then I'm free to do as I do. Of course, this time without the 2 security guards and the other and the other people, so they kind of trust me now that we're doing the right thing. But it's very good. It's been very receptive, and but you still have plenty that they don't want to hear it, and they don't, they're still a little old school culture when it comes to marketing and media, and but slowly it's coming around because this media platform that you and I are both on, called YouTube, is very powerful, And so they're beginning to understand that part.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Now tell me, I'm fascinated by this too. How was it that you were able to start filming yourself and doing live streaming on board Norwegian? Tell me that story. How did that come together for you?
Okay, so this is in conjunction with the Big Jackpot channel. So he is a much larger channel than mine, and so
Right.
the audience base is much bigger. And he has a specific staff that actually did the negotiating and the communication with NCL management. And so during our very first cruise, at the time, they were able to communicate and come to an agreement that we're going to bring X amount of people with us. I think we had 50 people or something like that on our very first cruise. So the permission was extended to the Big Jackpot channel, and then I was added into that permission by being a part of that group. And then and now we're with that said, we've had another cruise after that, and now we're getting ready to take 3.0 May 12th aboard the Norwegian Bliss. And again, this is very well orchestrated by the Big Jackpot and his staff. He gets the agreements. The ship staff is made aware that we're going to be on board for that particular week. And again, it's the same rules. We are respectful to the other players. We're not filming in areas that we're not supposed to be. And again, we're talking about the property. We're talking about the ship, and it gives them an opportunity to promote. And it really works in the end. It really does. And plus, sometimes people get to see games that they would normally play on land-based casinos. You get to see them on a cruise ship.
Right.
That will spur some interest. Hey, I saw Dan Mann playing Buffalo Gold on the Norwegian Getaway. I'm going to take a Norwegian Getaway cruise so I can play my favorite slot machine. And sometimes it's simple as that.
Yeah, exactly right. I know that when I was going on my first ever cruise, my buddy had told me that there's obviously casinos at sea, and I thought, well, gee, I'm kind of curious what kind of slot machines have they got? Have they got the ones that I'm familiar with from Las Vegas, for example, or area casinos where I've been, and it's quite a familiar territory. When you're inside a casino on a cruise ship, within 5 minutes you don't feel like you're on a cruise ship anymore. You feel like you're in a casino.
Oh yeah. I mean, having the benefit of being on a Royal Caribbean ship, the Allure of the Seas, the Oasis of the Seas, Freedom of the Seas, and then comparing those to the Norwegian cruise line ships, the casinos they're just like any casino that you would go to in Las Vegas or Atlantic City. They're well appointed. The machines are new and modern. The technology for the pay-in and the payouts are there. It's just like being in a casino in Las Vegas. It's everything that you would expect.
Right on. And that's what makes it so comfortable. Now tell my viewers, just like on land, if you're on a land casino, you would be crazy to walk into a casino, sit down at a machine, put some money in there and start playing without first putting in your player card.
Oh yeah.
In a machine on land. It's the same thing for a ship. I guess nowadays, I think a few years ago, it used to be you'd get a casino card to play the machines. Nowadays, I'm assuming you can probably just use your room card. But show the viewers some of the cards that you've gone through, and tell the viewers some of the perks that you can get just being a casual player.
Yeah, so for the viewers that are familiar with Norwegian, of course, this is your Norwegian ship card. And when you go to the casino, you just go to the host desk and they will issue you a Casinos at Sea card. Now, they both are usable in the slot machine, but what's important to note is that the ship card can act as your casino card, but your casino card cannot act as your ship card. So your charges, your ID, everything that's really important to you, of course, is your ship card. But just for the use in the casino, you would have your player's card. And plus, one very, very important point is while you're in the casino, as if you're cruising and you don't have a drink package, or your particular room cabin class, didn't offer a drink package while you're playing in the casino, on most major cruise lines, your drinks are free. So for a little bit of play, you can go and enjoy yourself and play some machines, and of course enjoy a couple drinks on the house. So that's a nice little perk.
Now I'm thinking too that I've been on cruise ships from time to time. It all depends on the time of day, if it's a sea day or not, and all these things. But I have seen it where I've been playing on a machine and I can't find a waitress. I just can't. I can't find a server anywhere. Are you able to just walk up to the bar inside the casino and point over at your machine? Hey, I'm playing this machine over here. Can I get a whatever you want, a beer or a mixed drink? Are they pretty reasonable about that?
Yeah, actually, yeah. On Royal, and I believe also on Norwegian, one of the most treasured items on a cruise ship is bottled water. And you can get that also in the casino while you're playing a slot machine. So, and depending on your class or classification of your play, like what tier you are, essentially, your bottled water then is premium bottled water versus, your normal bottled water. And of course, as you know, if anyone's ever taken a cruise, bottled water is a premium on a cruise ship. So why not get it for free out of the casino?
Yeah, they're handing it to you. Why not? And really, it's probably just as simple as having to ask for it. If they're not offering it to you, or you can't find a server handy, just walk up to the bar and talk to the bartender. They'll be more than happy to take care of you.
Bruce, my experience has been that on, of course, normal evenings when people are occupying the casino, mostly, say either a sea day or after a land day, I've never had a problem. The ships are usually well staffed and they have plenty of people there to bring you drinks. And I haven't had any issues on either one of those two ships, either Royal or Norwegian. So, and really, all you have to do is just show them your player's card and order what you like.
Yeah, and they'll take care of you.
Yeah,
right on. Now you go on. You've been on like you say, a couple of group cruises where you're playing with fellow casino patrons, and the cruise line is tracking the play. I mean, that's what they're going to do, and they do that on land. They do that at sea. It makes no difference. You were telling me the other day what kind of play they can track. It must be, some of the numbers have to be stunning depending on what your income level is and what you're prepared to gamble, I guess.
Right. Well, I mean, they can be, because you're talking about a captive audience for an entire week at most times, So if you're a casino a player and you like the casino, it's probable that at least 5 out of those 7 days you're going to be visiting the casino, and of course that play is calculated based on your total coin in. And what's important to understand about that, it's not about the total physical dollars that you put into a machine. It's about how much value in dollars do you actually spend. So for an example, I could put a $100 bill into a machine, and if it's a $10 machine, I could spend it 10 times. That's $100, right? But if in those 10 times I win another $100 and I spend that 10 more times, now I have $200 coin in for my $100 in buy-in. So it's about the coin in and the total coin in, but it's not uncommon for groups our size to have, a few $1 million in coin in a week's time, which is
exactly
very attractive to the to the cruise line, because at the end of the day, there's going to be win and losses associated with that, and there's a profit there to be made by the cruise. So, that's why they're able to offer the free drinks and the free perks. And then, of course, if you play enough, Bruce, you're actually able to obtain a free cruise. And, and what I mean by free is a free fare, not your taxes or port charges. So everyone has to pay those. And, of course, your gratuities. But in most cases, it really does not take a considerable amount of play in order to get, for instance, a free inside stateroom on most of the major cruise lines. So, if you take a cruise and you play with your player's card every single spin, so they understand how much you're playing in the casino, it will raise some eyebrows to say, oh, here's a good player in the casino. Let's send them an offer for a free cruise. And you can book that cruise. I mean, most of the bigger, say for instance, Royal, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, MSC is now in the game, as you know. They are aggressively seeking out these players that play in casinos, whether you like cards or slots or craps or whatever it is your game is. And they will offer you most times, hey, come take a free cruise. You can save the amount of that you would pay in fare. And really, as a consumer, I would be paying that fare anyway, somewhere.
Right.
So why not, accept a free cruise, keep that money for myself, and maybe play half of it in the casino, and the other half, hey, it's just a perk and a benefit to me as a casino player.
Right on, right on. Just while you were talking, we got a super chat that came into my channel from Tracy D. Does that name sound familiar to you at all, Tracy D?
It sure does. She's a great fan of Dan the Man, and also she appears live on many of my live streams, and she's a great supporter and a very well-known person in our slot community.
Right. Well, she's got a question here. She says, tell them about our waitress on 2.0 who brought our drinks by the cart. Laugh out loud. Thanks, Bruce. Fun, interesting stream. Love the info. Shout out to Dan the Man. So what's that story all about?
Okay, so how sometimes you can go to the casino and things just everything's going right. It's like you can't lose, right? So this is one of those nights where we just couldn't lose. And we're having a good time, and we have, of course, our crew with us, and we're live streaming and having a good time, and of course, there's a couple drinks involved here and there, and so I guess that the waitress was getting a little, a little fatigued by making multiple trips from the bar to our area. So so she started bringing an actual cart, okay, just loaded with drinks. I mean, from probably had 30 drinks on it, okay? And she would leave the cart for our enjoyment, so to speak. And of course, shared it with others, and it was just a good time. I mean, it's just, on a cruise ship, you're just in a different place, so right. You can do things like that and have a good time. And of course, the waitress got a kick out of us having a good time, and so everybody was having a good time that night. But
when everyone's having that much fun, the waitress is doing well with tip money for sure. So it's not a problem.
Yeah, we always are very generous with the service that is provided to us in the casinos. Because these workers work very hard, and a lot of times they're working daily, nonstop for months on end. And so if we can make just one night enjoyable for them, even though they're at work, I mean, it's really a good gesture, a good human gesture to them, to let them know we appreciate what they're doing for us, because we're the ones on vacation, they're working. So, why not make their day a little better too?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Now this brings me to another question for you, because this one, my jaw dropped when you told me this the other day. Share with my viewers the story where you got an invite to come to a casino about 4 hours away from where you live to pick up a special gift or appreciation of your play, however you want to word it. Tell the viewers what happened there. This is unbelievable.
Sure. So I have for many years traveled to Atlantic City, probably like most of your viewers that have that play in casinos, and and Atlantic City has kind of gone through a change. Some casinos have closed, a couple new ones have opened, and there's one particular casino there, Ocean's Casino, that was formerly the Revel Casino. They have recently reopened, and they're doing quite well. You know, it's a beautiful, absolutely stunning property. The hotel rooms are gorgeous. They all overlook the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the boardwalk right there in Atlantic City. So
You're not talking like you're not talking Motel 6 accommodations, are you?
no, not at all. Not at all. But it's you know it's favorable to a player because you can go there and play and get your rooms for free if your play is adequate. But also if you play just a little bit. See, a lot of people think that, well, I have to play a lot to get something for free. Well, actually, you don't. You can go and enjoy yourself for just a few $100s, and maybe you get your room for half off, or maybe you get 75% off. I mean, that's still something, right? So where else can you go for $40 a night and stay at a beautiful resort right on the beach? And anywhere on the East Coast, you can't, you know. So this particular casino had a giveaway for a free cruise. Okay, and so well, I gotta have that. I gotta have a free cruise, Bruce. So loaded up the vehicle and to Atlantic City we went. And this particular cruise was on a MCS was the sponsor of the cruise line.
MSC.
Yeah, I'm sorry, MSC. And so and as you know, you and I talked about, this is a great opportunity for MSC to partner with a land-based casino. I mean, they are a casino operator too. Their ships have casinos, so why not partner with a land-based casino? And this is not uncommon. You know, there's Caesars Entertainment. You know, that I believe they work with Norwegian. There are other land-based casinos that work with Carnival. But what made this particular offer so exciting was it was based on your play, of course, but it was good for up to 10 nights. Totally free, including your taxes and port charges. And I've never received an offer like that in all my years of casino playing. And so that was a fantastic surprise. I did not know that prior to going there. When I picked up the little certificate, and I can show you that and show that to your fans.
Show that to us. That's awesome. That's what an offer this is.
Yeah, so this is what it looks like when you you arrive, and it has MSC and of course my name and like all the information. And then this is good for a balcony stateroom.
Nice.
And what's really nice about this particular offer is that it's good for 10 nights on any itinerary they have. Any itinerary. It doesn't matter where it is, except for China. China is the only exemption. I'm not sure exactly why, but it is. But that was fantastic. And I can tell you, Bruce, I really didn't play that much there. You know, as a casino player, I know like where I play a lot and where I don't. But at the Oceans Casino in Atlantic City, I really didn't play that much, and I got this wonderful offer, and I am darn tootin' gonna make sure I jump on an MSC ship. You know, and for those viewers of yours that have, you know, everybody's seeing now MSC in the market. You see them when you look for cruises. You see the brand out there. You see them parked at the ports when you're on a different cruise line, and everybody's been trying to, you know, should I try it? Should I not try it? And you had a great point about, you know, if you only have 2 weeks a year of vacation, you know, do I want to risk those 2 weeks on a cruise line that I don't know anything about? And here's a fantastic way to do that without a lot of investment. You know what I'm saying? So I am definitely going to check that out, and I will definitely report back to you, Bruce, and let you know how this MSC cruise for 10 nights works out in a balcony stateroom. And also one thing about this particular offer that I got from Oceans is I can actually upgrade that offer to some of the highest perk available on MSC, all the way up to Yacht Club for a reasonable amount. I mean, $1,600 for a stateroom, I can upgrade this offer to, and I can tell you that, you know, for your viewers that have ever been on MSC or have not been on MSC, the Yacht Club is essentially the equivalency of the Haven on NCL, or I believe the Magic Genie that they call it on Royal Caribbean. If they still have that, I'm not sure if they still have that or not. But that's you're going all out. Then you're talking butler service, laundry service, the whole 9 yards, and free massages, Bruce. I mean, you can't beat a free massage. So, but this,
you got it. You got it.
The purpose of that is really to tell your viewers that casino slot play or just play in the casino. Most people are already doing it, but they're not using their cards, Bruce, because they think somehow the casino is tracking their play and we're going to hold the wheel against them, or we're not going to let them. No. Let me clear the air on that right now. The system that controls this is completely separate from the system that controls the slot machine. The two don't even know the other one exists.
Right.
So don't be fearful about using your player's card, whether it's on a land-based casino or on a ship, because it has no effect on the outcome of the win-loss potential of that machine. Right. And if you're not using the player's card, you're losing out on offers like from MSC. So why not use the player's card and get a free cruise?
Yeah, you can't beat that, Dan. It's so important to put your card in, whether you're staying for 5 minutes or an hour. It doesn't matter. Just pile up the points, and whatever freebies they want to offer you. They might give you freebies on the cruise itself. Like you might be, if you get so many points on this cruise, you get a free polo shirt, or you can get a keychain or whatever. But the reality is that these points are being tracked back at the head office, where they're analyzing their casino play. And cruise lines, when times are good and it's easy to fill up a cruise ship, they don't have as many promotions. But when the competition gets a little tighter, because there are more ships in the water every year now, the ships are getting larger, each ship coming out, which means there are more cabins that have to be filled. And so in the old days, 10 years ago, off the coast of the Cayman Islands, you might have 3 cruise ships on a Tuesday afternoon, dropping off 1,500 to 2,000 passengers each. Nowadays, at the Cayman Islands, you got 6 or 7 ships dropping up to 2,000 or 3,000 passengers each onto the island, and this is the competition factor. Well, those ships during the say from 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon, the casino's closed because you're in Cayman waters. But once that ship pulls out into the international waters, all those ships, all 7 of them, their casinos are on, and they're going to track their players' play. And the casino department has always been a top priority for the cruise line as a way to entice people on board that they want. And if they know you're a player of a slot machines or roulette or blackjack or whatever, depending on your play, you're going to get offers. It might well be like we said earlier, you might just get an envelope in the mail once every 3 or 6 months that has a $200 worth of free play or $50 worth of free play. Book a cruise and just cash this in at the casino. But you might get what you're getting, which is a full-blown cruise offer to you. It may only be an inside room or an ocean view, but it could go up to the top end, and there is no limit to what the casino host, the power that they have to make sure that you're happy on that ship.
Yeah, and I because it is a way to kind of return back to the player, it's something for your dollars, so you're getting something for your play, and I like that. Here's another example of an offer I just received from Royal Caribbean. So this is called Payouts on Tap, and Royal Caribbean is very good about pairing particular trips with themes. And so the theme for this particular offer is all of these beers on tap that are going to be specifically available on this particular cruise. And so this offer right here, as you can see, I mean, they really go all out even on the flyer. I mean, the thing that they mailed me is just absolutely beautiful. And so this is for 7 nights, Eastern Caribbean, sailing on August 25th on the Allure of the Seas. And the offer is $1,000 off my stateroom.
Nice.
So, I mean, and that's real dollars, Bruce. I mean, that's $1,000 off whatever you book. So if $1,000 covers 2 people in an interior, you pay nothing. You know, if your balcony upgrade costs, you know, $1,000 per person, it's buy one get one free. You know, and
right?
How can you do that? And really, again, for not for a lot of play. I mean, for a whole week it may add up, but it's not like I'm in the casino grinding it out for 6 hours a day. You know, I go down and, you know, have a couple drinks and play on the slots for maybe an hour to 45 minutes, maybe even an hour and a half, go have dinner, go see a show, just like everyone else on the ship. But the key is using that player's card. Make sure you use that player's card.
Yeah, yeah. Let them know you're there. That's the only way they're going to know for sure that you're there, especially when it's busy. Now, you have a video that went big time on you because you hit a jackpot on the NCL. I think it was the Getaway, if I recall. And just describe that video to the audience. You guys have to check this out.
So this was on our original cruise on with the Big Jackpot group, and we had live streamed that evening from the cruise ship and had dinner, and this is probably one of the 2 nights that everybody's up late because the next day is a sea day, so that means the casino does not close. So we're all up late. Okay, so we're in the casino. It's about 2:30 in the morning. And everybody's having a good time. And I sat down at this particular machine, and of course, I always have my phone with me just in case, you know, something fantastic happens. And just like this, something fantastic happened. And I started playing, and wow, I was like winning. And I started with $200, and I had worked the win up to $1,000 without a bug, like just hitting little things and stuff like that. And it was a 2-cent machine, and I was playing $7.20 a spin. Now, for a lot of players, that's a little on the high side, but for me, it was also on the high side. But I was winning. I thought, well, if I'm winning, I'm playing with their money. Let me just swing for the
house money. Yeah.
So I got a bonus like I've done 100 times on that particular game, but this particular bonus was completely different than most of the ones prior to that. It kept re-triggering, Bruce, and re-triggering, giving me more spins. And on this particular game, the game is called Buffalo Gold. And for those of you all familiar with slot machines, that's an aristocrat made slot machine. And the goal of this game is to collect buffalo heads. So while the spins are spinning, you have the potential to land these multipliers, but collecting the buffalo heads is what converts the other symbols to more buffalo heads. So the more buffalo heads you get, the more buffalo heads you win. And this thing kept re-triggering up to 83 spins, Bruce, over a span of 22 minutes. This video is rolling. And at the end of the day, it resulted into a win of $15,513. And it was absolute insanity. Nice. Everyone in the entire casino was watching this bonus. And for your viewers that want to go check it out, just go on over to Dana Man Slots and look for the Buffalo Gold video where I had won $15,500. And it was even so impressive, Bruce, that once the bonus round was over and all the spins were done, and I had won $15,500, the slot attendant comes over. Of course, they don't know, you know, what's going on until they come over. And when she turned the corner, she looked at the dollar amount and went, "Oh, I got to go wake up the boss."
Yeah.
You know, so they have to start their own process of, you know, checking to make sure that the win's valid, and, you know, all the X's and O's are correct. And over about the next 15 minutes, you could hear a pin drop. in there. You know,
Yeah.
you're waiting on that. Oh well, the machine broke, or wait a minute, there's free drinks at the bar. They pick up the machine, throw it overboard, kind of thing. Of course, none of that happened. The Slack technician came with his own little computer and plugged it in and checked all the correct validations, and it was good. And we even had a real funny moment where, again, you could hear a pen drop at this time, and the guy could apparently feel the tension of everybody behind him.
Right.
Working on his little laptop, and he turns around and gives us the high five, like, and then all of a sudden the place just went crazy. But that was a fantastic moment in time, and I was so glad to have captured it on video and shared it with everyone on YouTube and all my fans. And as you mentioned, I think it's very close, Bruce, to 1,400,000 views for that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so
fantastic. As a YouTuber, I'm just so happy for you. Any creator would kill for something like that, because you just never know when it can happen. Now tell me, once they they verified everything and everything was good to go, they're gonna pay you out. Did they ask you how you want the money? I mean, did they literally pay in cash, or they offer you a check, or what do they do?
Good question. Actually, they will pay you in cash. You have that choice. You could say, yes, bring me $15,500 in cash. They will bring it to you. But the smart thing to do, which is what I did, was I took a little bit of the cash and then I made a deposit into the casino, which then I withdrew at the end of the cruise in the form of a check. So that way you're not traveling with, a lot of cash, obviously, but it's a smart traveler thing to do. And that's what I chose to do. And but to answer your question, they will give you $15,500 in cash if you win that much.
If you win that much, yeah. That's amazing.
I don't recommend I don't recommend it though.
No. I was fortunate once in Vegas. I did win a machine where I think it was like a $1,500 win, but that's $300 over the $1,200 taxable limit, and so they had to do the I think it was a 30% withhold on that, but the rest they just pay out in cash, no problem at all, of course. But I mean, in Vegas, you walking around with $1,200 in Vegas, that for casinos, this is like I'm sure the waitress has $1,200 hanging around. Come on over here, honey, pay this guy out, depending on the room, obviously. But no, that had to have been so exciting. You were not live streaming that event, were you? That was recorded. Is that right?
That is correct. I recorded that after we were live. So we were live earlier that night, and then broke, ended the live stream, had dinner, came back to the casino just to have some fun. And very, very fortunately, I had my phone. It was fully charged. Like Bruce, all the stars aligned perfectly in the sky, and just that one moment in time. You just, you got to celebrate a win like that, because I can tell you, I have not repeated that win since.
No. And that's the thing about the YouTube trade that you're in. I mean, you're into recording yourself in a casino, whether live or otherwise. You have no idea, sitting behind the machine, how you're going to do today. You could have just a washout of a session, or it could go on for hours, or you could have the bonus round after bonus round. You just don't know. But unless you play, you can't win. It's simple as that.
Simple as that. And you can do it in a very healthy way. Like casinos and casino play a lot of times has a negative connotation to it, just gambling and, for whatever your beliefs are or whatever the case may be. But I think if you're disciplined and set a budget and only spend what you would spend to entertain yourself, then it's the most fantastic way you can have a great time, actually get something in return that's tangible, like a free cruise and free drinks, or even other perks. Like, for instance, I failed to mention to you, Bruce, that because I have returned to Norwegian Cruise Line a few times, and I've played, because they'll calculate your play per cruise, and then for every cruise you take for a calendar year.
Right.
So now at my level, I'm now, I believe, a Ruby player, and this is how they scale the players. Now for every cruise that I take going forward, I automatically get $400 in onboard credit just for being a casino player. And the other real perk, and I keep referring back to Norwegian because that's where most of my experience is that Norwegian even offers Casinos at Sea players their own check-in. So when you check in at the terminal, you don't have to wait with all the other people that are checking in. So very similar to a Haven check-in, they have a Casinos at Sea check-in where you go straight to the front of the line, and they do your CPass card and do all your check-in process, and you're able to skip some of the wait. So that's another perk of just playing in the casino.
Just playing in the casino. And I think you were telling me a story also about something about you had been offered a cruise on Norwegian, and the level of cabin was something like a spa balcony cabin or something like that. But you then you took it upon yourself to call back and see if you could get an upgrade, and how much would it cost you to upgrade to a higher level. And you did you not end up in the Haven on that deal?
Actually, Bruce, that was through Norwegian's bidding process. So how that worked is I booked my highest eligible stateroom category with Casinos at Sea, and then everyone has an opportunity to bid. Of course, as you know, NCL has this bidding process then where you can bid to upgrade your cabin class. And I don't fancy myself to be an expert at that. I just did some reasonable calculations, like what's that cabin class currently going for retail? What did I pay? And then somewhere in the middle, I just came up with a number that I thought was fair. And this is what I'm willing to pay. And apparently Norwegian Cruise Line felt like that was a reasonable amount to pay too. And so I got upgraded to the Haven, and I can tell you that I'm completely ruined from now on cruising on Norwegian. So it's a fantastic experience. If you've never done it before, I recommend it. Take one time and just go for it. And it's a different cruising experience. I could tell you, Bruce, that I've been on the same ship from Norwegian in both cabin classes, as far as a mini suite to a H9, which I believe is their spa suite, which gives you Haven access and access to the thermal spa. I'm sure these are things that you talk to your viewers about from time to time. And I can tell you, they're two completely different cruises. Even though you've been on the same ship, the level of service that you receive in the Haven is just uncomparable to what you would receive on any other class of ship. And so it was wonderful, and very fortunately, Bruce, the next cruise I'll be on May 12th, I will be back in the Haven into a spa suite again, and hopefully I can share that with you and your viewers, and we can talk about that later, and then do something where we can share, give you some inside looks of the Haven and the Haven categories, and be on the ship there live for you and your viewers.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. We're plotting, folks. We're scheming here about some kind of a live get together. And I got my man on the ship, and he's got his i10 iPhone with the top notch picture. So we'll be able to get some behind the scenes stuff up there, which would be really cool. Right. Now, you were telling me before we went on the air today, you've got a special little deal for my viewers. If they head on over to your channel, tell them what you got for them, because I think this is fantastic. You guys got to take advantage of this.
So for everyone right now that's a TWB fan and you're watching this live stream and you're watching me, Dan the Man, if you jump over to my channel and leave a comment on that Buffalo Gold video, you'll see that Buffalo Gold video. leave a comment on there. Let me know that you are a TWB fan and you're jumping over for the first time watching Dan the Man slots. I will send you a Dan the Man lucky poker chip. And you just let me know in there. Now, because I think I don't know, you got 40 people in there or so that's not too bad. So for everybody that comes over and jumps over and leaves a comment, I'll make sure we'll share information. And somehow I will get you this Dan the Man lucky poker chip on the back. Has got my Dan the lucky face. And how how this is properly used, Bruce, is you put it on your slot machine as a lucky token, and then you play, and this will bring you good luck. No guarantees, of course. That's in the fine print. But but this is something fun for your viewers that have come and kind of watched your live stream and shared this time with us. That's kind of something fun.
Right on. I know a number of my viewers have already subscribed to you because I have been telling them for the whole week that you're on today. So you folks who've already subscribed to Dan the Man, get on over there to that big video of his. You'll find it, no problem. It's the one with the 1.4 million views on it. And just leave a comment on there that you're a TWB family member, and he will take care of you. The addressing and all that, you'll work out with them probably through your Facebook or something else, which will do off the. Don't share your address on his channel. They'll work that out with you. Don't worry about it.
Fun times.
That's great. That is fantastic, and I think that's a great little promotion tool you got there, using the poker chip as a way to promote your channel. I know that you were telling me that you hand those out when you're on board the cruise ship or you're in a casino. If someone recognizes you, going, "Hey, you're Dan the Man," you give them a poker chip.
And this is going to happen to just about anyone who gains some success on YouTube. People become attached to your voice and your image, and I can rarely now go to a casino without someone yelling from across the entire "Hey, it's Dan the Man." And of course, I'm very humbled. There's no real sort of. Not doing it for the fame, of course. I do this because I love traveling, and I love cruise ships, and I love spending time in casinos and entertaining myself with slot play and other kinds of play. That's what I like to do, and this is just a way to kind of capture it in its form and share it on YouTube, and that allows creators like you and I to be creative about what we do and have people watch us. And I am just, every time I'm on YouTube, Bruce, I am just taken back to the fact that people will take time out of their day just to watch us, listen to us, and be a part of what we're doing. And I'm so thankful for that, because for me, it's the best feeling in the world where you can share, like what you do every day is you share cruise news information with people that may or may not know, and they come and you're a great resource of information for them. And so people become, they become attached to you and and what you're doing. And same way for me. And I'm just so humbled by it, because this is what really makes YouTube work, is that the people, it's very intimate. Even though it's such a big animal, people begin to know you. And so, which is why I very importantly spend as much time as I possibly can with the fans that do come and meet and greet me while I'm on the casino floor. And I like to shake hands and take pictures. And of course, if your fans are ever out there and they see me at a casino, don't hesitate. Come over, say hi, take a picture. I might even have a couple extra Dan the Man poker chips for you, or even something else. But that's the beauty of this, right, Bruce? Is just sharing it with the viewers.
It really is, and for me, it's only just started. I'm up here in Canada, in this little town just north of the U.S. border. But on my last trip that I just had through California, Jennifer and I, my Jennifer Aniston lookalike wife, who's never been seen, she and I worked our way back from Phoenix, and we went through Central California, and we stopped and stopped in on a couple of people that we have wanted to meet. That have watched us, and a couple of people are YouTubers, D&G Explorers, a channel that they have, And it's just wonderful. And catching up with one of my dearest viewers, Debbie Manuel, who's in Chico, California, got together with her, and it was fantastic. And it's just a taste of what I know will happen. I am plotting to start cruising myself with my better half later this year. We're looking at sort of October, November as a sort of a start time, and then right throughout 2020 and beyond. And so the opportunities to meet with my viewers is coming. Because for me, this channel, it was so imperative to establish this channel, grow this channel, solidify it, find its legs. And we reached 8,000 subscribers just around Christmas time, which is like four so odd months ago. We had 8,000 subscribers. Now, 4 months later, we're at 22,000 subscribers. So we've been on a growth curve here. And I'm hoping by the end of the year, we reach that 40, 50,000 range and become a little bit of a YouTube player. Of course, as Dan the Man, and I know, if you haven't got 100,000 subscribers, you're still micro. Even over 100,000, you're small. Million subscribers or more, you're kind of a factor. And when you hit 10 million, they really pay attention to you. Well,
I predict here, Bruce, you're going to be 75 to 100,000 easily. I'll be slowly catching up with you as I'm able to now spend more time. Of course, as you know, Bruce, and kudos to you and the time that you spend to educate your viewers about cruising. And as you know, this is a lot of work. At the end of the day, the going live, the editing, the tracking of analytics, of course, behind the scenes as a creator, you're always conscious of copyright issues and things that you display and talk about, and just everything in general. You have to be very careful. There's a lot of rules, obviously, but at the end of the day, all that hard work pays off when you actually can leave something the viewers can watch and enjoy and interact with. And there's just not a better feeling than that. There just isn't.
Yeah. No, there isn't. It's when you see you put your effort into these videos and then you start seeing them being watched, and you're looking at your hourly watch rate or your daily or your monthly, and it's stunning. It is really humbling. You realize, oh my gosh, where I live, there are 5,000 people in this town, and I've got 22,000 subscribers. That's more than 4 times the population of everyone around me, and that kind of brings it home. Or you think about, like in your case, you're coming up to 15,000. Heck, there are basketball teams, professional basketball teams out there, hockey teams that are getting 15,000 for a game. And you wonder about dropping the puck ceremoniously at center ice before a game, and then looking around the stadium going, oh man, every one of these people, that represents how many subscribers I have, 15,000. It is humbling, and but it is so satisfying when you're putting product out there, you're putting content out there, and you're getting the comments and the thumbs ups, and people see you and they give you the shout out, and then they just unsolicited, people tell you how much they enjoy your YouTube channel, whether it's on your Facebook page or through Instagram or through Twitter or whatever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's that interaction that keeps me going, and it's not without its downfalls. I mean, just like anything else you do, you got crazy people everywhere. We have our own share, but a lot of my growth is because of collaborations with other channels like yourself, and I can attribute most of my growth with my collaboration with the other slot channel, the Big Jackpot, who has 150,000 subscribers. So the growth potential is there for me. I'm just doing what I need to do to get it done and continuously create entertaining content so people can come back and watch. And I'm really excited about you and I doing more things together and doing that for your viewers and for my viewers as well. And so hopefully your viewers are gonna appreciate that and become more interactive with it. And as you bring on more live guests, I'm excited to watch it. I won't miss one. I promise you I won't.
Right on. Well, a number of the viewers here, the comments I've been getting, just a ton of them, by the way, as we've been talking. The comments are just going through. a lot of them are talking to each other, but a lot of them are also posting here. Tracy D posted she says, I smell a cruise being planned between Bruce and Dan.
Oh!
And then a number of my viewers kicked in. That would be the bomb, traveling with Bruce and Dan the man on a cruise ship. You know, you never know, folks, where these things go, because as time goes on and as creators get together and collaborate and figure stuff out, there's a lot of potential to cross the streams. And I tell you, I look forward to the day down the road where there'll be a cruise someday where it may well be that 2, 4, 6 different creators will get together in one shot. And, you know, you add up all the subscribers that each of them have, and you might have like, you know, 200, 300,000, 400,000 subscribers, and you've got 5, 6, 7 creators getting together in one shot with the cooperation of a cruise line that's going to say, yes, we'd love to have all you guys on here with all of your followers. You might have a ship that can handle, you know, 3,000, 4,000 passengers, and maybe half of them are followers of the channels that have been that have come together to do a collaboration for a 1-week cruise. That would be really something. I can envision something like that coming down the road, and I want to you know, work with other creators out there to build the relationships and figure out a scheme to put something like that together. Whether it's just, you know, one or two creators to doing it, or whether it's a bunch, there's a limitless potential for something like that. And it's exciting.
Absolutely. So excited to be a part of that. I mean, it's exciting now when I'm involved with the big jackpot cruises, you know, because he'll have his fans and I'll have my fans. And of course, our fans cross. And, you know, some of these people, Bruce, I'm going to be seeing for the 3rd time, May 12th.
Right.
So this is our 3rd cruise with this group, and it gets a little bit bigger every cruise, you know, so that's really exciting. And the human element of that is that I've forged new friendships with people that I would have never met otherwise, you know, so that part you can't put a price on.
Yeah, that's right. It's priceless. You know, you meet other creators, you meet fans, and absolutely, you absolutely you know them as people before you've ever seen them personally. And what's wrong with meeting your fans on board a cruise ship? That's a pretty good win-win, I'd say. If you're gonna meet your viewers, why not meet them in paradise on board a cruise ship, whether it's Caribbean or Alaska or a Panama Canal cruise or whatever. Absolutely, I am very much looking forward to the day where I'm going to be hosting my meet and greets prior to cruises, and then onboard cruises, and then after a cruise. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I know it'll be very, very rewarding. Right on, man. This has been great. You know, we've been going 1 hour and 10 minutes now. It just like that, unbelievable. We've had at least 60 to about 80 or 90 viewers at any one time watching. So I wouldn't surprise me if we've got hundreds and hundreds of people who've come through here to listen to us talking about this show. And the rerun will be, I think, pretty spectacular. I think over the night tonight and through tomorrow, this video will have quite a number of views on it. So a lot of folks are finding out about your channel and my channel and all about cruise ship slot play, casino play. There's so much potential with it, and I think the cruise lines, it sounds to me, in some cases, the cruise lines are almost begging to give away cruises to get players on board. I really believe that, and they're not looking for multi-millionaire players necessarily. They're quite happy with average play to get people on their brand. And I have a feeling that a number of casinos out there, they probably have a standing order from the head office, from the top guns up at the executive suite. You've got so many suites to use up. Get them filled with bodies and get them on this ship, because if they're on the ship in the casino, that's great. But once they're on the ship, they're also going to go to the specialty restaurants. They're going to go on an offshore excursion. They're going to spend money over here, over there, and the casino. Get those, get the butts in the seats is what the expression is. And I think these cruise lines are aggressively marketing players of all kinds.
I agree. I can say for the time that I went to Oceans to pick up the certificate for the MSC cruise, there were hundreds of people there. So there's a considerable amount of interest from the land-based players to to utilize these free offers from the cruise line. So I mean, that's really a win. So like you said, here's a known player and they're interested in cruising. I mean, it's like a marriage made in heaven, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's an absolute win-win.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm if you want to, does anybody have any questions that are watching, Bruce?
Yeah.
Let's
Let's see here. Let me take a look at these comments going through here. There's just been a zillion of them. There's some people were talking here about whether there is any. Someone here said profit and loss statements at the end of the year. Is there anything like that on cruise ship casinos, or is that just a land-based thing?
No, there you can get a win-loss statement from your cruise ship. That's very specific for the United States. So when you do your taxes, you can have your win-loss statements for cruises that leave the United States and return back to the United States. That's where those would apply. And yes, you can talk with your casino host representative, or you can contact the cruise line directly, and they will give you your win-loss statement for the year.
Right on. And then on that topic, on a little bit of taxes there, someone did ask here about whether they take taxes from you. Do they have that? Is it a $1,200 rule on board a cruise ship as well? Any winnings over $1,200, they withhold back on some taxes?
That is true. And the general rule is if your cruise departs and returns back to the United States, you are subject to that U.S. tax on winning above $1,200. And as a player, you elect to have that withholding done at the time of the payout to you, or you can waive the holdout and you reconcile that at the end of the year on your taxes. So you have a choice. So if you play a lot and your losses are offsetting your wins, then you're probably more likely to waive the withholdings so that you just, do your taxes at the end of the year. And if you lost money for the end of the year, you don't owe taxes on those winnings.
Right. Exactly. And I was going to ask you something else. Now, if you're sitting in front of a slot machine and you let's say you put $100 in there and you're playing and you're at like $85 or something like that. And then you hit a bonus round and it pays you say $600. So now you've got a credit of $700, and you keep playing and you turn that $700 into $1,400 because you've had another series of wins. When you cash out that $1,400, are you now subject to taxation, or is that not subject to taxation because you didn't win $1,200 in any one payoff, or how does that work?
You would not be subject to taxation. The taxation is triggered on one single win of $1,200 or more. What you're referencing is a buildup of wins less than $1,200 that you accumulate credits above $1,200 on the slot machine, but then you would cash it out at $1,800 or $2,000, and those are not subject to taxation. Right
on. And of course, they know in the casino, they can look at the history of the payouts on the machine, and they know whether you've had a $1,200 or more payout as it is. And I would imagine that if you're sitting in a slot machine, no matter what the denomination of the machine is, and no matter how much it is you wagered, if a spin takes place and it actually is a $1,200 or larger win, the machine will stop right there, won't it? Because it's now a hand pay for the taxation side, isn't it?
That is correct. The machines are programmed to essentially lock up, which would require a technician or a slot attendant to come and acknowledge the jackpot win. But there are hand pays that can occur under $1,200 that are not taxable. So, for instance, I remember being in the Dominican Republic at a resort, and all the wins above $300 were hand pays. They weren't taxable, but they were hand pays. So,
Right.
so if you won $400, for instance, the technician had to come over and acknowledge the win and actually pay you your money.
Right, right, exactly. And this is, this is reminiscent of what Vegas used to be. And when I say the old days, it's not that long ago where if you had a win anything over $50 or $100, the whole thing stopped, and you had to get a hand pay because they had to double check that the machine wasn't being tinkered with, and it was cash all over the place. You had a bucket of dollar coins sitting down there. That might have been $300 in coins. Your hands were black because of all the coins you were handling for the last 20, 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever. And the machine has a $200 payout, and you have to get paid out in cash. They won't let it go. Or I remember you'd get a $200 payout. The technician would come, open the door, take out the little piece of paper, write down his name, his code, the time of the win, and the serial number of the win or whatever, put the piece of paper back, shut the door, hit the button, and now the coins would come out. And I remember how frustrating it was when you get 120 of them, and then it would stop because it's out of coins. And now you got to wait for the darn technician again to come back and feed the machine full of coins, and then hit the button, and you get the rest of the damn things. And you're looking for buckets to grab, or those racks. You remember the racks? We used to have those plastic racks, and you'd have $5, $20 amounts, $100 a rack, and you would carry these things. They'd weigh what, 5 pounds each, and you'd have 4 or 5 of them. You're carrying 20 pounds of dollar coins. Your hands are filthy black, and you're lined up at the casino pay window to get your cash. Oh, those are the old days.
Oh, but that's not that long ago, like you said, because I can remember being probably in my very early 20s and experiencing that same thing with the coins and the buckets of coins, and the only sound you could hear, like now they pump in music and have live bands and all these things, and the only sound you could hear back then were the coins actually falling into the trays.
Right.
I mean, it was like, kind of mind-boggling over time, kind of. But
yes.
Very interestingly enough, I just watched something on Discovery Channel about how a particular casino in Las Vegas promoted that they had the cleanest coins in town. They would actually wash the coins for the players so that they would not get what you just described, these sort of black, sort of sooty hands from handling the coins. So you're telling on yourself, Bruce. I know you've spent some time in the casino, because only casino people know that.
Yeah, and it was from the quarters. I remember the quarters I used to play. You put $50 in the machine, or $100 over time, and then you get a $70 payout in quarters. That's 280 of the damn things, and now you're handling this coins. And I could remember how hot the coins would be in temperature, how warm they were, because they were inside this machine that's got all the lights going all the time and very poor ventilation. I mean, it's come a long way. It is now so sophisticated and civilized to just have the little piece of paper come out, and that you can just walk it to another machine and slip it into another machine and keep going. How nice a way to go. And of course, for the casinos, just think of how many people don't work at casinos anymore, as far as technicians, hand pay people, chip runners, coin runners, all these folks. I mean, you don't even see very many casino staff anymore on the floor of a casino today, because it's all done just electronically with literally a piece of paper to pay you out with. I mean, it's so sophisticated.
Yeah, that system you're referring to is called TITO, TITO. It's called Ticket In, Ticket Out, and you essentially just put your physical cash into the machine, and when you're done playing, and if you're up or down, you just hit the button, and you're issued a little TITO ticket, and then of course you can take that and put it in a machine, or you can take it over to the machine that sort of looks like an ATM, put it in there, and then convert your TITO into cash.
Yeah.
Great way to track wins and losses by the casino because it's all digital. And the old adage of management is if you can't count it, you can't manage it. And of course, this is something they can count quite easily.
Yeah, yeah. I just got a comment here from Jimmy D. Jimmy D says, I was on a hot slot on the Palm Beach Princess, an old casino at sea. When you got back into U.S. waters, the machines would shut off and the coins would come out. I ended up with $800 in nickels.
Oh, wow. That probably took a little bit of time to count.
And a couple of buckets. You had to find those plastic buckets, and I remember putting my bucket underneath the payout thing and just let the coins pile into the bucket rather than hit the metal thing and then grab handfuls and put it into the bucket. Oh my gosh! I remember old ladies at casinos in Vegas. They would try to get their coins out of the metal bucket, and it would slip out, and they would roll onto the floor, and people would try to help them, and all the old ways of doing it. It's all changed. Oh my God. It's unreal. But of course, yeah, the new system now, it's faster. Some of the comments coming in here, way faster now. You can lose $20 a lot quicker than you could before, because in the old days you would have a roll. You'd have like 25 of those dollar coins, and you'd put them in one at a time and pull the handle. Put them in one at a time and pull the handle. Now it's just hit the button, baby. Just hit the button, and away we go.
Well, that's true. And, because we're human, we have these sort of traits to us where the ticket is just a piece of paper. It doesn't look or resemble cash or money. So at the end of the day, it just looks like a bunch of digits. So you really are just playing to keep playing. And, that's to the advantage of the property, of course, is that, you're not conscious of how much cash you got. I mean, if you have a bunch of money in your hands, right, that's something physical that you can touch and it's real dollars. But if you just have a little white ticket with a bunch of numbers on it, put it in, play it.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. One of my viewers, Nurse Nancy, is asking, what's the best place to start for a gambling virgin? What do you recommend for a first timer who's not been in a casino before? What kind of machines should they play, and how should they do it?
Where's Nancy from? Is she in Canada?
Nurse Nancy's from Wisconsin. She's from Wisconsin.
Okay. So she's close enough to Las Vegas if she likes to go to Vegas. The best place to start is there used to be this 90% of the casino floor were these mechanical reels, that the ones that you can actually see spin. There might be 3, there might be 4, there might be 5. Of course, all the machines now are digitized as a video reel. And, the best place to really start is just find something that interests you. Because there's so many machines now that are theme based. I mean, they make slot machines based on movies and characters, and like Blake Shelton, the country singer, has a casino slot machine. Britney Spears has a slot machine. The Simpsons have a slot machine. Right. Wizard of Oz has a slot machine. So you have all these different brands, of course, and just find one you like, get comfortable, find a nice drink, whatever your choice is, and put a $20 bill in there and just play the minimum. 20 cents, sometimes 30 cents a spin. You're not investing a lot, and you're entertained. But of course, always make sure you have that player's card in, so that you get credit for your play. But that's really the best way to start. If you've never been to a casino before, just go and enjoy the atmosphere, the energy that these places have sometimes, because you can hear people winning, and, they're having giveaways. And of course, some of the best restaurants, Bruce, are in casinos. I mean, there's a reason why Gordon Ramsay and like him all have these fantastic restaurants and casinos. You can really enjoy some really nice dinners and meals at casinos. And so, if you balance your slot play with a nice dinner and maybe a nice room and maybe a little time in the spa, then it's not about the casino. It's about the experience of being there.
Right.
and
That's right.
you really don't have to spend the money on the machines. That's just a piece of it.
Yeah,
Enjoy what
that's right.
they offer. Like for instance, I have an event coming up in June where I'll be back at the Red Rock Casino Resort and Spa in Las Vegas. And this particular resort has a full-size bowling alley and a full-size movie theater and a full-size pool area with probably 15 different pools and things. So there's so many other things to entertain your time when you're at a casino. So it's not always about the slot play or the table play. You can certainly, enjoy yourself just as much at the pool or at the spa, or maybe having a nice dinner. And it's again, it's about the experience of being there. So that's my
Yeah.
recommendation for her.
Yeah, I agree, buddy. You're absolutely right. One thing I would add is, if you're going into a casino filled with, it's mainly slot machines now. Of course, that's what most of the casinos have these days. Of course, they still have blackjack and roulette. But if you're in a casino, whether it's one of the Indian reservations in the U.S. or state run or Vegas, the secret, I think, is you find a penny machine, but be on guard to make sure that the minimum bet isn't $5 or anything like that. You can find, 1 and 2 penny machines where you can spend, drop a lot of coin per spin. But what I would recommend is if you are playing most casinos have a ton of penny machines, by the way, because they do have 30, 40, 50 cents at a time and multiples of that at a time that you can wager. But what I would recommend you do is when you get to a slot machine, read the rules of the slot machine, the payout scale, because some of the machines will say to you, you can play with as little as a nickel at a time, a dime at a time if you want. But if you do play, say there's 20 lines available that you can have possible winning combinations. If you only play 10 winning lines, you may not be eligible for bonus rounds or big bonus rounds where you may have to play all 20 lines, and you might have to have a minimum 5 cents per line or a $1 wager per spin to truly qualify for all the possible bonus rounds and payout rounds that you can get. And that's important, because if you've got a card in that machine, you want to make sure that the play is registered and counted by the casino. You want to give yourself every opportunity to play longer with the money you have. And what's a crying shame is when you see someone at a slot machine and they put their $10 in there, $20 in there, and they're only playing 5 lines out of 20 lines at a time. And you see these bonus symbols come up, free spin symbols come up, and they don't qualify for the free spins, because in that machine's deal, you have to play every line with at least 1 coin. So you want to be sure you're reading the rules of the slot machine you're going to play to understand, so you understand this will happen, and this will happen, and this will happen, but here's what you have to be wagering to get these bonuses. And that's what can make or break a session, because like you had with your gold buffaloes there, if you were playing only 25 cents a spin on that machine, you would never have had that kind of a payout and that kind of a bonus round. And so many of these themed machines, you have to have a minimum play to qualify.
That's excellent. That tells me even further. You've spent a day or two in the casino, Bruce. I know better than that. And a lot of those bigger wins that you see advertised, they're called area-wide progressives, and they're typically machines that are linked together in multiple casinos, all contributing to one large jackpot. I think just recently someone won $13 million, Bruce, on a $3 bet. Now, if they'd have bet $2, they wouldn't have won the 13 million. They wouldn't have been eligible for that. So that's excellent advice. Certainly pay attention to the pay tables, and really the best thing I can tell people is if there's no advantage to betting higher, for instance, if you bet higher, you then are eligible for these area-wide progressives or additional bonuses, then my suggestion is that you don't need to bet higher. You can always bet lower. and your bankroll will last longer. But certainly that's a value decision you need to make as a player,
Right.
because these penny machines are, they sound cheap, but they really aren't. I mean, there are penny machines you can spend $50 a spin or more on, so just because the denomination is small doesn't mean the cost per spin can be small, so you do have to pay attention to the pay tables and to the rules, and give yourself the best opportunity to win you can as a player.
Yeah, that's right. And there's some machines in Vegas where you'll see 10 machines together in a little cluster, and they have their own little progressive jackpots going for just those 10 machines. And the little mini payout might be $30, and the medium payout might be 60, and a higher payout might be 300-400, and then they've got the continual big one that might be $50,000. But those little mini jackpots, they're won all the time. Those small $20 to $100 mini payout progressives, they're won all the time by the players in just those 10 machines. And so one thing I love to do is I just love to watch people playing these slot machines so that I can get a handle on just what's going on, because they're so complicated when you see them for the first time. There's so much going on. I'll just stand and watch a player, and I'll see how much credit they have and what are they betting per spin to give me an idea. Oh, okay, this player here has $200 in the machine. They're spinning $1.80 a spin or $2.40 a spin, whatever the amount is. And this qualifies them for these progressives that you see up here. And you stick around long enough, you'll start watching people win this stuff, and then you realize, oh, okay, now I see how this game actually works. There are still, of course, you get small payouts on the screen itself, your actual screen, depending on how many symbols you get across the board. But then there are these progressives and bonus rounds and free spin rounds. It just goes on and on and on. And sometimes you can tell the machines that are the most fun to play by the screaming sounds you hear from the players playing them. That tells you right there how they're doing. And that's kind of where you want to be hanging out.
Well, if you or your viewers want to see some really exciting wins, like it's even hard to, I've been playing in casinos for 25, 30 plus years. My friend, the Big Jackpot, he is a high limit player, and I was actually with him a night while he was filming on his channel, where he won $100,000 at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. And I can tell you, it wasn't my win, but it felt like it because I was there, but he has some amazing videos on his channel. So make sure, if you and your viewers want to check out his type of slot play, which is very high limit. I mean, sometimes, $50, $75, $100 a spin, upwards to $1,000 a spin, Bruce, on a slot machine. Now that'll make you a little bit nervous when you're pushing that button, but this guy does it like no other. And so, you want to see some super, super exciting slot wins, and make sure you check out the Big Jackpot, and you will be amazed.
Right on. That's pretty cool. I got a comment here from Buckeye Lady. She says, you can watch Dan the Man slot videos and learn so much on how to play different machines. So you got your fans.
Yes, she's a great fan of mine. I actually met her at the Meadows, Bruce, the place I was telling you about earlier. She attended an event that I held there. How you doing, Buckeye Lady? Glad to see you.
Right on. Yeah, they're watching both of us. They're my fans, and some of yours are definitely here, no doubt about it. Somebody here saying, someone's called Stanton SC says, yep, on my last cruise, we took $200 gambling money, and my fiance won $700 on a minimum bet slot, and we were happy with that. Nothing wrong with that one.
Fantastic. $700 win. That's awesome.
Definitely. Buckeye Lady says, I'm doing great, Dan the Man. So she's passing on her kind regards to you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone here is really reacting positively to all this. A lot of them are asking the kind of questions we've been talking about here. about payouts and different types of machines out there, and how how in the old days we used to have to handle the quarters, and now it's all electronic and so much more convenient. The thing is, folks, whether you're doing land-based casinos or cruise ship, you put your card in the machine and you play, you're going to get stuff in your mailbox, in your inbox for your email, because they ask you for your email address. You're going to get offers sent to you all the time. And it is not uncommon for even, small players of slot machines to get offers to go to Vegas for a 3-night freebie slot tournament. It's not uncommon for something like that to happen. Now, Dan the Man, I got to ask you this question. If you and I were going to put together a cruise, and we went to a Norwegian together, would we be able to work a deal with the casino people there to have some kind of a Dan the Man Traveling with Bruce slot tournament put together on a cruise ship, you think?
Absolutely. I think the potential is there. I think, it takes a little bit of time, of course, to coordinate such a thing. And we could take a lot of pointers from my friend, the Big Jackpot, who's accomplished this exact same thing. But it's not impossible. It certainly does happen, and we're getting ready to go on another cruise, like I mentioned earlier, on May 12th of the exact same type, where we have people coming together for fans of YouTube channels, and we're going to be together. But I don't see any reason why we could not, and I would be just absolutely thrilled at the idea of putting something that like that together with you. And like you mentioned before, one creator, two creator, three creators, and we could all have our own different disciplines. I mean, you're obviously a travel expert, and you're an expert of what your channel is promoting, and casino person, and maybe we could have someone who would be an expert about the area or some other discipline, have all these different people involved. I think that would be fantastic. You can count me in on that, Bruce. Count me in.
Yeah, right on, right on. I think that a casino manager would be salivating at the fact that between 3 or 4 channels, if you can bring in a number of people that 500 or 1,000 people to a cruise ship. I think the offers they'd be jumping at something like that. Yeah,
people would be awesome. I like your goals, man. I like your goals.
Yeah. I like it too. I like it too. And I'm certain that after the cruise is over, the folks who have gone on the cruise would then be getting offers all the time to come back with all kinds of offers. I just saw a comment come through here from someone. It was from Marlene Loren. Marlene says, Carnival sent us an offer with $1,000 casino credit. We leave in 10 days. All right, on.
That's awesome.
That's what I'd be doing. I'd be leaving in 10 days for sure. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's so many offers available from land-based and cruise-based casinos. It's mind-numbing when you think about it. I know I did get an offer from the Orleans in Vegas. Jennifer and I were invited 2 years ago to the Super Bowl. They had a Super Bowl party going on. They call it the big game because they can't use the word Super Bowl. And the big game, the deal was that they gave us 3 free nights, all meals included, including the game itself in their huge conference room with at least 10 or 12 massive televisions on the walls that were like 30 feet by 20 feet in size. They were gigantic. A wide open, the bar was in each corner of the room. There were the bars. You just go there and tell them what you want. They just give it to you. No charge for anything you want to drink. And then the food kept coming. They had the kitchen area just cranking, and they had these, they're just like giant buffet tables, and they just kept bringing more and more food. And you could just go up an hour before the game, during the game, and about 20 minutes after the game. And in our case, it went into overtime. It was Denver. Well, who was it? It was New England against Atlanta, and it went into overtime. And we must have been in there for like 4 hours, and it was just a riot. And we were in there with, I think, 2,500 people in this room. they had two more like it going at the same time, and they had comped everybody. Just to give you an idea of the size of the comp budget of land-based casinos. Cruise ships are no different. They will comp players to come on cruise ships, and they'll comp you, as you say, they'll comp you right up to the haven, and even bigger than that. If you're worthy of it, they'll make sure you're happy. So it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, I'd like to see people take advantage of that. If you're already playing in the casino, I mean, you're kind of giving away that opportunity if you're not using your player's card. And that of course, as you know, goes for land-based casinos too. But right now is an excellent time to be, in one of these programs on any one of these cruise lines and get your play counted. And you're exactly right. You can be comped all the way up to the Haven or any other sort of cabin class. That's just amazing. And the free onboard credit, which is real dollars. That's dollars you can exchange for an excursion or something out of the gift shop, or to pay for your specialty restaurant. The only thing it doesn't pay for, of course, is your gratuities. I mean, those are things you have to pay for. But these are things you would spend money on anyway while you're vacationing.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Yeah, fantastic. It's an opportunity that is available to all, depending on the level of play you have. And like you said earlier, if you're getting a cruise given to you that is worth $1,000, why not take $500 with you on the cruise ship and gamble with it? You're going to pay $1,000 for your cruise as it was. You're already ahead of the game as it is, and I know there are a lot of folks out there who they'll pay a couple of grand to go on a cruise, and then they'll lose $1,000 on a cruise. They put $3,000 into it now or more. Well, if you get it given to you instead, now you have an extra $1,000 to gamble with, and you're still getting off cheaper than if you're paying for it yourself. So there's ways to justify it all. It all depends on one's budget, one's entertainment value, how much they enjoy it there or not. There are people who go on cruises who just want to watch the shows, others who want to hang out at the pool level, others who want to do it all. And it all depends on what works for you. And of course, that's why casinos in Vegas are so complex now, where, at the Treasure Island, you've got the Beatles show there. You got Cirque du Soleil going elsewhere. You got shopping malls in casinos. I mean, these casinos just aren't the way the mob ran them back in the 60s anymore. It is a completely different game, and it suits so many different tastes of a vacationer, and that's why Vegas still thrives to this day.
And Bruce, what for me, if I just take the casino out of it, take casino out of it, I find it very difficult to find a better value for your dollar than a cruise. I mean, at the end of the day, for what you are getting back, for whatever it is you spend, whether you pay for the fare outright or you get it free from the casino, I mean, I've had land-based cruises. I've traveled out of the country. I've been to Disney. Nothing compares to the value you get on a cruise. I mean,
right.
You have to really consider the cost of your meals every day, your accommodations, the fact that you're traveling somewhere, and you put all that value together. It is hard to beat what a cruise vacation actually gives back to a consumer for the amount of money they pay.
That's right. No question about it. You nailed it right on the head. I tried to stay at a Vegas property a couple of weeks ago, about 3-4 weeks ago. Jennifer and I were looking for just a one-night stay in Vegas where we were going to pay for a night. And what turned me off was the resort fees, the mandatory resort fee you got to pay in Vegas. Some of these properties were trying to get $55 a night in resort fees. This was in March. The pool is closed. There's no swimming pool open. There's no resort. All that gave you was a newspaper, and you could make local calls on your telephone. That was the resort. And I'm thinking to myself, geez, I could go on a cruise for a week in a balcony room, and if I shop around hard enough, I can find a 1-week cruise for the Caribbean or off the coast of Mexico if I'm going to leave from LA. I can do a cruise for well under $1,000 for the entire week, including my meals, my entertainment, use of all the recreational, and I'm in warm weather. Wow, the value, no question about it. It's absolutely the deal of deals. Where if I'm going to stay 4 or 5 nights in Vegas, yeah, okay, I can understand certain charges, but on the other hand, you add it up before you even walk in the casino, you've already dropped some serious money. And this is why if you have played at a Vegas casino before and you've done any kind of gambling in a casino, chances are you're probably in their program, and you can call their promotions department anytime you want. Forget about booking on Expedia. Pick up the telephone and call the 800 number for the hotel. You'll get the receptionist answering it, and then you tell them you want to talk to the promotion department and talk about getting free accommodation. She'll ship you right in there, and you're now talking to a casino host. And those folks have got power, unlimited power, and they'll look up your level of play and they'll tell you what you're eligible for. And you can always say to them, hey, look, I would love to be part of a slot tournament sometime. Let me know when there is one, and we can go from there. Now, speaking of a slot tournament, you got one that you're putting together, aren't you, in Vegas?
Well, in June, we're going to actually be having a couple group pools. So the definition of that is where we have, say, 15, 20 people, and we will pool dollars together. Say, for instance, maybe $100 buy-in or a $200 buy-in, and we'll have $5,000 to $10,000 that we will then take and play on a high limit machine. So, for instance, if we have 20 people and everybody puts in $200, it's $4,000. So we'll take $4,000 and go over to a machine that you would not normally play. Right. Take some nice swings on potentially hitting a big monster jackpot, and then so you take. So typically, you have two types of group pools, depending on the dollar amount in the pool, so to speak. Is right. If it's like $500 to $1,000, we'll play to either double up or nothing. So it's a all or nothing, as I call it. So if you have a bigger dollar amount, what I like to do is take that pool dollar amount of $4,000 and spend just the value of that. So, for instance, if you have $4,000 in the pool, and just for conversation, each pool costs $1,000, you pool 4 times whatever you have left, you split. Right. and then sometimes you're plus, and sometimes you lose. But the idea is that it just creates such excitement, because you're involved in something that you would never play, $50 to spin or $100 to spend. And it's just super exciting, because when you do hit that bonus or you do hit something massive, I mean, the energy is just, it's crazy. It's just so much fun to do.
Right on. And you definitely want to be filming that.
Oh yeah, we always film and live stream the group pools because it's just a spectacle of chaos, as I call it, because your every spin is just nerve wracking, and for me, it's my channel and it's on my channel, so I want to do good. I want people to have a good time. Everybody has a good time regardless, but of course you always want to win, right? I mean, so right. And so that's a lot of pressure, so to speak, that when you're spending with, your money and everyone else's money too at the same time. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a way to get people engaged into high limit slot play that would normally never have that chance to. And so you get to share it, and it's really exciting. Plus, we put it on the channel, and people watch it, and they just go crazy over it. And yeah. We're gonna be hosting. I got 2 planned. I think maybe possibly 3. The week of June 5th through 9th. So you'll be able to check that out on the channel, Bruce.
Right on. Right on. That's what folks have got to do. They got to check your channel out. They can get all the info there, and they can also link into your other social media accounts and keep up with you that way too. So folks, you can send Dan a private message, send him a private question if you want. He's available for that through his social media contacts right on his channel. You can't miss it. And you definitely want to check it out. Dan the Man, we are going to wrap this baby up. We're coming into 2 hours now on Showtime here. a little past my normal run rate. We're slowly losing a few folks who are probably worn out from all the fun. But I promised everybody this week, you got to come and watch this show. You're going to learn so much about what's going on here. And you did not disappoint, sir. The info has just been great. We really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being my guest here. We will do something together. Definitely, we'll be talking between now and next week or so. You and I'll we'll scheme something on the Bliss with you coming up on your cruise in May, and then going forward from there, we'll figure out some kind of get together somehow. We'll figure out a way to merge the troublemakers from TWB and Dan the Man Slot. That'll be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it, Bruce. And, thank you for having me on your channel, and I appreciate all the very flattering comments from the viewers, and the questions were amazing. And of course, you know, this is an animal that's constantly changing, and there's always new things to talk about. So I'm sure at some point in time, we're going to have another live stream together, and we'll talk about new things again. But I do like your idea about getting together and doing an event together with multiple creators, and you know, bringing more interesting content to your viewers. And I can't thank you enough. And I had an amazing. You're like me. I could talk nonstop forever. And it doesn't bother me. You know, I can just keep talking, and we can switch from casinos to cruise ships to construction to whatever you want to talk about. But I think people are interested in that. They love the content. And thank you so much again for having me. And I completely enjoyed myself. Had a great time, Bruce. Thank you.
And no worries, buddy. Thank you so much as well. Folks, thank you for all your kind words and comments today. A lot of them have come in. Of course, couldn't read them all today, obviously. I've been scanning them here. Debbie Manuel, Buckeye Lady, saying it. She's hitting it right on the nail, right on the head. She says, nice people here. Yeah, there's some really nice folks here. We hang out 6 days a week, Monday to Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern, and Saturdays at 2. We talk cruise ships 6 days a week live on this channel. And then I do short videos on top of that. Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, we play live trivia on this channel as well. Usually about an hour and 20 minutes at a time. We have a lot of fun doing that, and welcome any of you to come by for that. Hope you enjoyed this show. Make sure you subscribe to Dan the Man Slot's channel. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, there's a button here. There's a button over there, and hit that bell notification icon. You'll be notified every time we do a new live show or I post a new video. And like I said earlier today, I posted 2 videos today already on this channel on what's been going on in the cruise world, and there's lots happening today. Dan the Man, thank you again, sir, for sticking around and sharing some of these great stories. We've had a blast, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon, sir.
Thank you so much, Bruce.
Okay, buddy. Take her easy. Folks, I'm giving her up. I'm saying my good nights to all of you out there. Have yourselves a good evening, everybody. Thanks again for being here. Stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. And we'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, on the 25th of April for 2 shows, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock tomorrow night for trivia. In the meantime, guys, take care, enjoy, and we'll talk to you real soon, guys. Bye for now.